Hello everyone, I'm Sudeepthi Dondapati. I came before you to help you with word building. Can you guess what I'm going to speak here now? Now look at the picture right over there on the screen and try to come up and infer some meaning from the picture. If you can see the picture, you can see a person, taking steps forward to reach the height of his ambition or his goal. So you can see as he takes steps one after the other forward, what is happening exactly. Now, you can observe that he's going higher and higher. So is the same with a person who is well versed with vocabulary and meanings, especially in English, when you have to master LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. If you have to acquire proficiency in all these four skills, you have to be very much versed and popular or famous. If you have to be like that, you have to be much acquainted with the words that you speak and hear from others. And not only when you hear from others, you need to listen to them and try to comprehend, decipher the meaning from the conversation you hear. Right? Now, you must be very clear with the topic I'm going to do. Yes, vocabulary building. And can I use another word where one word substitutes are very helpful for any person to learn meanings and use. Just not the same word. You can also use any other alternative word in the place of the given word. So you, the students who are taking, placement exams, part of it, verbal English is one of the important components and aspects of your exam, right? And verbal English, the paper has different aspects, like we've dealt with many topics previously. And once again, I'm here to reiterate and emphasize the importance of vocabulary in your verbal English, and not just for your placements, my dear students, but also for your overall enrichment and amazing experience when you speak English with the people around you. Right. Now we have a few questions over here in this session where I'll ask you questions and you decide for yourselves which is the right answer with what word you can substitute the given question word. Right, now look at that, and I have amazing clues for you given, installed, and already provided in the visible page itself, where you can easily identify the meaning for. Right, you can see scientist who studies evolution of mankind. Now, what is the word you can use in order to replace and in order to provide the answer? Now, somebody who studies evolution of mankind. So who does that? And there are many people, a scientist is there. You can see scientist is the one who search and search. So which means he researches and comes up with some find out or with some result, right? So, and there are different scientists who dig deeper into different words. Now, what about this person, the scientist who does study or who studies the evolution of mankind? Now, there are three options given: biologist, druggist, anthropologist. So, now what's the right answer? Now, who is this biologist? See, this biologist, as you are aware, biology. Now, you talk about the life and nature of a man, right? Of a person, basically. Man or a woman, neutral gender can be used, right? this particular biologist, he studies the life. No, he is more interested in studying the life of any person. So he or she can be branded and considered as biologist, because bio related to life, and just is someone who studies and is involved, right? Druggist in the similar way. Now you have seen biologists. Now can we consider this option as the person who does the study on the evolution of mankind, because that is related to this life? We cannot, obviously, because partly you're right, to some extent we can agree, but not to the fuller extent. So now that cannot be the option. Now B, druggist. Now who is this druggist? A drug, you can derive and decipher from the word drug is drugs, pharmacy related stuff, and somebody who comes up with medicines, who is involved in this formula, medicine formulation, who prescribes and who prepares, who makes, and who is very much involved in medicine making. So you cannot completely treat this druggist person as somebody who studies the evolution of mankind. Now anthropologist, yes, here comes the significance. Now anthropology is related, again, life and humanity. Okay, a person who studies the life, especially humanistic nature. Could be humanistic nature, can be related to culture and lifestyle. So also from societal perspective and life perspective, personal perspective, cultural perspective, societal. So all these three aspects, more than three aspects, can be embedded into one term, where he studies the human culture and also the life of any person. So we can treat this option as the right option, as an anthropologist, somebody who studies the culture, humanistic perspective, societal, at the same time personal. Right? This is the right answer. Next question. Government by one person. So who is this? What is that word? As you can see in the picture, somebody who sits on the throne, almost on his seat, and he's trying to rule over the people who are standing below him. So government by one person. So we can say autonomy. Auto means one, or single authority. Okay, one man ship, right? And now do not get confused with this gender, man or woman. Any neutral word can be used here. So cracy, it's the rule of the government, right? So one man ship. Now here you got the answer, but let me take you to other options as well before you dwell on the right answer. Aquatic plants, or all the things which live mostly in water. So we will refer to different things as aquatic plants, right? So it's all about water, life in water. Obviously we cannot may make this as part of the question. And the third option is democracy. Democracy is for the people, of the people, by the people, right? You can see people are very much related, and it's not a self rule anymore, but it is nominated, and the power is given of the people, by the people, for the people, and people are very much involved, and they're part of this rule. So we cannot consider this as government by one person, but we can consider autocracy as the government by one person. That's why you have to understand the root words, meanings of these root words. Auto means single, cracy means kind of rule and running in administration, or some kind of important rule or work. So you can go with the option A, as the right one word substitute. Next, third question. The life history of a person written by himself. Now, what do you say? Now, I'm very happy to say that just now we have seen, and there's a clue here given, like autobiography, the life history of a person written by himself. That means I write my own life story. Okay, and I know, or I give my autograph, auto single. Just now we have seen autocracy, or that means single man ship or single person who is taking the entire authority. In the same way, autobiography means giving biography means what? The story of life. So my own story, and I'll be writing. So I'm the single author, which who carves my own story. So my own life story. So that means it is self story. That is autobiography. Whereas biography is somebody who writes for the other person. Example, I write for my friend. Okay, I write the biography of my friend's life. So somebody else's, in case we refer to, we say that as biography. And aquatic, I think you can make many rule out option. You can find rule out options based on the previous question option. So aquatic, we have already discussed that the things, or especially plants that live in water. So you can go with the option A, autobiography. Next question. To cut off a body part of a person, what is the one word substitute? To cut off a body part of a person. Like we say, we removed, we annulled, we have taken off something. So that what's the substitute you can really provide, you can think of. Options given: A, amputate, B, amateur, 3, amphibian. Okay, amputate, amateur, amphibian. So amateur can be used as different ways of pronunciation. So amputate means to cut off, to remove. So he amputated, his leg was amputated, removed. Okay, so this can be one of the options, but let us go to the other options as well. Amateur or amateur, is the person who is very passionate about any work or his profession, but is not he doesn't entertain or his work, or he doesn't do this work based on the payment received by someone. Like he's not on any payment basis, he doesn't do any work on this professional basis, but it's out of his self interest. He's much interested in his own passion, and he's very passionate about doing something, and voluntarily does something, even if nobody encourages in the form of money or any other opportunity. So such person who does not give himself, or who is not confined to any payment or any professional or under any legal authority, so he is the one who can be considered as amateur. Next, the third option is amphibian. Amphibian means what? Again, you can see some animals who can live on, in water and also on land. So somebody, some animals that can survive in both, places, we can consider that as them as amphibian or amphibians, an amphibian or amphibians. Right? So you can go with the answer amputate, to this particular question. To cut off means to amputate. Fifth question. A place for ammunition and weapons. A place for what is the alternative? A place for ammunition and weapons. Now the options given there: arsenal, alimony, astrologer. Now what's this arsenal? Arsenal is the place where you store and keep the weapons, of our, Indian military, or Indian military weapons, or kept in arsenal. So this is a place where weapons are stored. Whereas alimony means is a kind of negotiation happen between spouses, like husband and wife, and they are on legal separation, and now as a compensation her husband is or asked to pay her some money as a compensatory amount. So and such negotiation can be can happen in the form of money, and that's basically we say that as alimony. And the third question is astrologer. Astrologer means astrologer. Option given is someone who tries to he's much involved in this heavenly bodies, heavenly stars, moons, and who tries to decide and predict the future of a person based on the position of these heavenly bodies. So that person can be considered as astrologer. So for this, information, we can treat this arsenal, a place for ammunition and weapons. Arsenal is the right option. Next question. Next question. A place where old government or public records are kept. A place where old government or public records are kept. So we are referring to some place where you can deposit or where you can place or rest all important public records, and they are very much preserved there. And what is that place called? Now we have options given over here: archives, exim, anarchist. So archives, generally, this is the place where you store all your important documents, especially government related documents. So you can consider this word as the right option. And then what about the other two options? Exim. Exim is something which is believed to be true and need not be proved scientifically, but as it is very much evident as you say it. And for example, the sun rises in the east. You don't have to prove, but you can understand. And there are many things like chess moves. Chess moves, for example, means what you try to play and set the position of the coins over there. And that's what we understand chess moves. So this is a notion where you talk, you consider or you think that this is very much truthful, and based on, and this particular axioms are framed based on one's assumptions, but they are very much believed by the people, and they've considered that as very truthful, though not scientifically proven. So that is called an axiom. Next, the third option is anarchist. This particular person, anarchist, he is the one who he or she denies the hierarchical authority of any position in any company or in any government, where he doesn't allow himself to bow down before, or he doesn't obey to the hierarchical authority or to any authority under him. And he is the one who believes that in any society there should not be any hierarchical positions or authorities, where the government should be given to people, where people rule by themselves or on themselves. So this particular person can be considered as anarchist. So you can go with the option A, archives, where these public records are kept. Next, a man who does a thing for pleasure and not as a profession. Now can you relate it to the word which we have already discussed? We've discussed earlier, right? What did we discuss? We discussed that a person, somebody who does voluntarily, but not, deciding that as his profession, but who does voluntarily, and he comes up with, his own passion. And now, what all we discussed, that definition is presented here as the question. So now you can easily understand. Now, options given: joker, B, curator, C, amateur. Now, who is that person? Joker, as you know, somebody who entertains with his fun. And curator is someone who is hired by, the local government, can be, the museum, the zoo, or any kind of public place where this person is hired to look after that particular region, on paid basis. Okay, this person is not he doesn't own the entire place, museum or zoo, but he's hired for some time, and this particular person can be considered as a curator. Now the leftover option is amateur. Now you know the meaning of it. Somebody who does for out of his own passion, but not as a profession. So you can go with the option amateur. Next, animals, plant that live in water. We've already discussed. There are many similar questions. Like definitions are represented as questions in some in some situations. So you can go very easily. They're just trying to confuse you with it, but it's very easy. Next, animals that live in water. Obviously, aquatic, abdication, biennial. What is this the term biennial? Biennial is something that happens two times, twice, or any event or anything that happens two times, generally an event. So that can be as biennial year or biennial event. Obviously, this cannot be considered as the right option. And the second option is aquatic. Aquatic again, live in water, that lives in water. Abdication, abdicate means the queen abdicated the throne for someone. That means he denying or she or he leaves his position for someone else, sacrificing. So abdication, that's chiefly called as. Animals which live both on land and sea. Again, now you understand. We've discussed the things what is amphibian, right? And now here you understand the definition of the word we discussed earlier as the question, that live both on land, amphibians. And atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God, can be considered as an atheist. And archives is a place where you store the public records in order to safeguard them. So the answer is chiefly amphibians. 10. The ability to use either hand with ease. Either hand. Okay, you use two hands, both hands. Ambidexterity, arsenal, anthology. Ambidexterity is the skill of using your both hands. Okay, and you can see it from the picture. Second option is arsenal, where this military weapons are stored, and anthology is different from anthropology. Anthology is collection of poems, where a collection of literature, poems especially, and that's can be considered as an anthology. Now here for for now, ambidexterity is considered as the right answer. Next, now you are very much, you are aware of this meaning because we've already discussed earlier. Allowance paid to wife on legal separation. This is to, the definitions are given as questions, and questions are sometimes given, answers are given in the form of options. It's just to familiarize with the words once again, so that you may get used to the word more than one time. Now, allowance paid to wife on legal separation. Now, alimony. Astronomer is someone who, studies the sky, moon, and all these heavenly, bodies. Next, allegory. Allegory is, a symbolic device used by the writer, either using place or character or anything in order to tell someone about something using this particular place. As in, as the means. For example, I'm trying to explain life, and I use one character in order to explain life. So that is chiefly called as allegory. So you can go with the option alimony to this particular question. Voluntarily giving up throne in favor of someone. Now you must be very confident of this. Is abdication, right? Next, bureaucracy is just the opposite of autocracy, where and hierarchy of work can be seen, and authority can be seen, where work and power is divided, by within the officials, and they all do it collectively. That's chiefly called as bureaucracy. And anthology, collection of poems. And obviously, this cannot be considered as the right option. And now, A option can be considered as the right option, because someone who gives up throne in favor of sacrificing, for his or her person. Next, a person appointed by two parties to solve a dispute. You can see it over there. A person appointed by two parties to solve a dispute. Arbitrator. Arbitrator is someone who resolves and dissolves the issue. Somebody who helps, the two parties to be at one line and to, compromise. So that person can be considered as an arbitrator. And be astronomer is someone who studies, all heavenly related, like, sun, moon, stars. Biennial, that any event that happens two times. So obviously, option A is a right answer. A person who studies stars, planets, and other physical properties. Astronomer. Now, no doubt, right? Now, bouquet. Bouquet is something, collection of flowers. Bigamy. Bigamy is a person who has, legally or illegally, on legal basis or illegal basis, entertaining two wives. So the answer is astronomer here. Next, a person who studies the influence of heavenly bodies. Influence of heavenly bodies. Now you see, he talks about the character of a person or future based on the position of these stars and moons. Is somebody who can be considered as an astrologer. And alimony is, the money, repaying money between husband and wife, compensatory money. Axiom is, though not scientifically proven, but considered as the truth. Okay, so you can see astrologer as the right answer. A collection of poems we've already discussed is called anthology. Bureaucracy, the division of work, and chief officials are involved in the government. Heretic is, somebody who doesn't follow the norms of any religion. He believes his own, way of life, and who doesn't obey any norms of any religion. So you can go with the option A, anthology. Next, a statement which is accepted as true without proof, and no doubt this is axiom, and because we've been discussing this for the past 5-10 minutes. An invigilator is somebody who invigilates a person. It could be anything, but then I supervise over something, and I'll be an invigilator. Next, infantry is related to the war people does on foot rather than using horses. So the option for this is option A. A person who does not accept the institutions of government. That's what we chiefly said, anarchist, the role of this anarchist. Okay. Now, hers is something which, where, kind of metallic or wooden, board where you place the dead body and you take that dead body. Could be, a vehicle, or it could be in anything where you keep this, a box, coffin on, where you place this coffin on any wooden or metallic thing. So that's called as hearse. Horizon. Horizon is something where you see the sky and the earth meet in the same intersection, the line between the meeting point of sky and earth as it appears. Or else you can also say the horizon means any limitation or any reach. This particular horizon means the limitation of something, and which you go above it, you can be considered as beyond horizon. Okay, so you can go with the option A to this particular question. Next, the practice of having two wives or husbands at a time, and now I'm sure you're very much aware of this option, bigamy. Incorrigible. Incorrigible is something which you cannot correct. You can say incorrigible document. So you cannot modify it, and there's no scope. Like invigilator is somebody who supervises. Now you can go with the option A, bigamy is somebody who entertains two women as his wives. Next, a lover and collector of books. A lover and collector of books, obviously bibliophile. Bibliophile is someone who loves, who is very passionate about books, reading. Okay, something that can be understood. Okay, bibliophile. And invincible. Invincible is something you can understand. Something it's too dominating, and you cannot understand. You cannot beat out that person. it's too difficult to be defeated. So that can be considered as invincible. The third option is indefatigable. Indefatigable is somebody who is very restless and is untiring without any need of any kind of like relaxation, and untiring in his or her efforts, and is very persistent, and kept on moving it. Now that is called indefatigable. Okay, so here in this particular context, you can go with the option a collector and lover of books as bibliophile. We can say he's a bibliophile, somebody who is kind of bookworm, who loves reading books. 21. A collection of flowers obviously is a bouquet. It's not bouquet, but it is a bouquet. A beautiful bouquet, we say. He presented his, mistress or fiancée with a beautiful bouquet. Matricide. Matricide is somebody who kills his own mother, killing of one's mother. So that's called matricide. Misogamist, somebody who detests and hates marriage. So that, misogamy, like kind of philosophy of hating or disliking marriage system, and misogamist who is one who dislikes marriage. Okay, so collection of flowers here, the option is bouquet, A. Government by the officials. Now you can see this is what chiefly we discussed earlier. By many people, bureaucracy, curated, biennial. Bureaucracy is like, people, several people are involved, not like autocracy, not one single managing, but many people are involved in the government. So this can be understood as bureaucracy. A. Curator is someone who is hired by, people, other party in a museum or the zoo. Biennial, an event that happens 2 times. So the option is A. A person or nation that is involved in war. There's a belligerent. You can see it in the picture. Belligerent country, person. Like somebody who is involved in the war. Okay, a person who is very much into that war. Astrologer is somebody who decides the future of a person based on heavenly bodies. Arsenal again, a military place, a place where military weapons are kept. A person or nation that is involved in war, belligerent, like somebody who is very much into war. Okay, somebody who is very much into war, and somebody who's in that fighting, zeal, who is very much involved in war. So he can be called as a belligerent. Astrologer is somebody who does this, predicts future based on this position of stars, moon. And arsenal is a place where you store military weapons. Option A is the right answer. An event which happens once in 2 years, biennial, obviously. Okay, you are very much aware of that now. Infirmary is a place where sick people are, put or kept. Okay, so that's where you, for recovery, you keep sick people. C, linguist. Linguist is somebody who loves languages, and he knows many languages. He is a linguist, or he goes in depth regarding learning and doing so many things with languages. Somebody who is well versed with different languages is called a linguist. The act of speaking disrespectfully about sacred things, that's called blasphemy. I disrespect other religion, and I do talk ill of other god or religion, and now I'll be a blasphemer. So that's called blasphemy. Option B, ventilate, where you remove bad air and give fresh air. Dredge is an equipment or a tool that is used to, bring out the animals or anything that are hidden in water. Could be sea oysters, where the instrument you pull out all these oysters with this particular tool, that is called dredging machine. A person in charge of a museum. Curator, obviously. Pitiable means a person and, a situation I pity, right? So that situation is pitiable. So that is called. Next, chimera. Chimera means like you see half, For example, your body is there and the head is related to lion and the body is related to, for example, giraffe. So two different separated parts are combined into one. So two different things. That's called chimera. So the answer for this is A, curator. One who feeds on human flesh, obviously cannibal. Somebody who eats, human flesh. Cannibals are there in our world. They kill and eat, the same species, human beings, as food. So those people are called cannibals. Matricide is someone is killing, the same person, killing the same, own mother is called. Lapidist means like somebody who deals with the gems, okay, who carves and who does everything related to gems, GEMs. So somebody who is an expert in that and who does carves all these gems, lapidist. So the answer is A. Next, belonging to or living at the same time. We can consider him as a contemporary. Contemporaries means people who live in the present time. So now the contemporaries are the people who are right now in the present generation, who don't belong to the past, but they are very much there now. So they are called contemporaries. Now that's mean. Indelible means something which you cannot erase. Indelible mark, which you cannot erase it. Third one is misanthrope. Misanthrope means somebody who hates humanity, humans. So he's called a misanthrope, misanthropist. Or misanthrope means somebody who doesn't like, or misanthropy who doesn't like humans, against humanity, right? So the answer can be option A, contemporaries. Center of attraction. So what do you say? One, A, cynosure. B, loquacious. C, infirmary. Cynosure means somebody, the cynosure of my eye, center of attraction. I get very attracted to one particular thing and it is a center of attraction, and for me that is called cynosure of my eyes. Okay. Loquacious is someone who is very chatty, who speaks a lot. That loquacious person. Infirmary is a place where you keep sick people for recovery. And now we can go with the option A when you talk about the center of attraction as cynosure. Critical judge of any art and craft, or somebody who is very critical, critical judge. That person can be called as connoisseur. Connoisseur is somebody who evaluates and critically judges anything, especially art and craft, and that person is called connoisseur. And B, cartographer. Cartographer is someone who draws map in his mind based on the geographical condition. Okay, kind of maps and graph. That's called, so that person is called cartographer. And mortuary is a place where you keep dead bodies. And the answer to this particular question is A, connoisseur. Somebody who judges critically the art and craft. So that's all for this session. Now I want you to remember the words, and sometimes you have to memorize the meaning and use them contextually. Please don't use the same word in different contexts. Try to understand the meaning first and then understand the context and try and see how you can use this word in any context. So all the best. We will meet for another session where we will discuss another group of words and different words that are useful for you in your future, especially related to your placement exams. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.